Welcome to today's Explainer. Have you ever just sat in a quiet room, stared up at the ceiling, and felt utterly lost in the mystery of your own life? It's kind of like endlessly scrolling Netflix, right? But for the meaning of existence. It is a deeply universal human experience, yet it's one we rarely talk about out loud. So today we're walking through a really fascinating, deeply moving analysis of inner reflection, based on a source that captures this exact feeling perfectly. We're going to unpack that sheer exhaustion of trying to figure everything out, and more importantly, how to actually find peace when those answers just aren't there. So, get comfortable, and let's explore the landscape of our own minds.
Who am I and why am I here? Man, that is the ultimate existential question, isn't it? The source material we're exploring today kicks off right here, with a speaker who openly admits to being completely tangled up in these heavy thoughts. They confess to literally not knowing what they're supposed to be doing with their life, just getting caught up in endless questions, trying to track down answers everywhere. And I want you to ask yourself right now, how much of your own mental energy is spent quietly trying to solve this exact same puzzle?
The speaker notes, I have been wandering the world, but there are some questions in life whose answers are never found. Think about that. We spend so much time wandering, whether that's physically traveling or just endlessly searching, scrolling, reading, always hoping to find a clear map for our ultimate purpose. But the source confronts us with a pretty hard truth here. Some questions are simply unsolvable, and the pursuit itself becomes incredibly exhausting when you don't realize that the map you're looking for, it doesn't actually exist.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1. The Endless Existential Search, Seeking the Divine and the Meaning of Life.
So when we can't find answers within ourselves, human nature essentially dictates that we look outward. The speaker really wrestles with these specific macro-level questions, just trying to understand if a higher power is guiding their journey. Like, is there a God? Is God watching? Does God hear our sorrow? Does God help like a friend? These aren't just dry theological bullet points. They're deeply vulnerable human pleas. We all just want reassurance that our individual struggles actually matter in the grand scheme of things.
Now, what's really interesting about this next part is Section 2, the illusion of answers, the trap of the infinite loop.
Finding an answer doesn't end the search. It literally only creates a new layer of questions. The speaker describes this intense feeling of an illusion breaking. You see, sometimes they feel like they've finally found the answer they've been searching for, and there's this brief, fleeting moment of relief. But then, almost immediately, that satisfaction is replaced with even more confusion, because getting an answer doesn't mean life just stops or resolves neatly into a bow. It just opens the door to the next overwhelming mystery.
It essentially turns into this exhausting cycle. Questions, answers, questions, answers. I couldn't see beyond them. I really want you to reflect on this for a second. Have you ever felt this exact same exhaustion in your own life? Where you fix a problem or answer a major life question, only to instantly inherit 5 brand new things to worry about? Yeah, it's a relentless treadmill.
Eventually, these grand cosmic questions start to shrink down to a very mechanical, very human one. Did I come with a purpose, or did the world give me one? This is a profoundly important distinction. Like, are we born with some innate mission we just have to uncover, or does society just pile expectations onto us until we mistakenly think they're our own?
Which brings us to Section 3, The Trap of Human Desires, Why the Mind Keeps Running.
The source breaks down this endless loop of desires absolutely beautifully. It goes like this. A desire forms in the mind, it gets successfully fulfilled, and then, just when you think you can kick back and relax, the mind instantly adapts a new desire to chase. The speaker asks, why does the mind always run after desires? If one is fulfilled, why does it instantly need another? Well, we are fundamentally wired to keep running. It's just how we operate.
Moving on to Section 4, Loneliness versus True Solitude, Reframing the Inner Dialogue.
Look, there is a massive difference between the sad, worldly version of isolation, feeling like I have no one in this world, and the totally empowered solitude of realizing I am never alone because I have myself. After spending so much time deep in their own thoughts, tangled up in all those exhausting questions we just talked about, the speaker finally realizes that their own company is actually profoundly comforting.
And this leads to a massive revolution. Talking to myself, I never felt that I am alone. Actually, honest internal dialogue is the cure for the painful feeling of loneliness. When you become a friend to your own mind,
The emptiness of the outside world suddenly isn't so terrifying anymore. You have a constant, reliable companion in your own self-awareness.
And frankly, we need that companion, because the reality of our timeline is harsh, but true. People come into our lives, people eventually leave. One day, we must depart too. And that brings back the pressure, right? Did we fulfill our purpose before going? Life's temporary nature brings a sudden, really sharp urgency to this quest for self-fulfillment and peace. If time is short, we literally cannot afford to spend all of it being miserable while chasing unanswerable questions.
That brings us to our final part, Section 5, Life's Ultimate Greatest Victory, Finding Happiness in the Unknown. And here is the beautiful paradox the speaker lands on. Despite the confusion and the endless unanswered questions, true happiness is still possible. Now, the speaker openly admits they are still occasionally troubled by these mysteries. Sometimes they say lost in them, yet they explicitly state that they are still happy. You do not need objective answers to the universe's greatest secrets to find peace today. The real joy, it's found in the acceptance of the unknown.
It all comes down to this single thought. Life's biggest victory is, I was able to know myself, talk to myself, feel myself. The ultimate triumph isn't figuring out the cosmos or decoding your assigned purpose. No way. The real victory is simply becoming intimately acquainted with your own mind, being able to talk to yourself with kindness, and truly feeling your own presence in the world. It's a total game changer.
So, as we wrap up today's explainer, I'm going to leave you with this question. Are you still chasing the world's answers? Or have you finally started talking to yourself? Stop waiting for the universe to hand you a map. Start exploring the incredible landscape you already possess. Thank you so much for joining me, and hey, I highly encourage you to spend some time today just talking to yourself. You might be surprised by how much you actually enjoy the company.